Hello and welcome back to the IVGO's podcast. That song we started off with today was from our medley of Kirby from our performance at TitanCon last August in Belfast. My name is Robert Martin and I'm the music director of the Irish Video Game Orchestra, and with me today is Keith Milligan.
Hello.
Shereen Pereira. And our very special guest and editor of our podcast, Lisa McCrissican.
Hello.
She's here to keep us in check this time.
I realized I didn't say anything, and it's a audio podcast as well, so apologies for that.
Come on, Shereen, get it together.
Second take.
We are professionals.
Get it together. For those of you who were here last week, hi, Keith's mom and dad.
Our loyal listeners.
We now have an official title for our podcast. So welcome to Side Stage with the IVGO. Yes, Side Stage, where I hang out all the time. It's
waiting
to
be summoned.
Good time. Yes, it's where we have those deep conversations before we have to run on stage and perform. It's also where we reflect and talk about what we just did.
Or more often than not, what just went wrong.
I wasn't going to say it, but yeah, basically. It's our happy place.
I mean, it happens.
Anyway, so today's podcast, we're talking about our busiest month ever. Last August of 2019, we had well over 5 events, which I know for the pros, it doesn't sound like a lot. But for our tiny little volunteer orchestra, 5 shows is a lot.
Yeah.
And 5 shows in a month is insane. Typically, we do 5 shows in a year. And this time, we squeezed it all into 4 weeks.
I've always meant to ask, how the hell did that even happen?
We kept getting asked to do shows, and we kept saying yes. And then we looked at our schedule, and we're like, oh, no. Oh, no. What do we do?
It was Adam, basically.
Everything.
Yeah, we blame Adam Humphries.
It's always Adam.
It's always Adam's fault. But no, so a little background to explain how this did happen. We are one of the few organizations in Northern Ireland that's completely self-funded. Most arts organizations, sorry, this is me, my arts management master's degree is being placed upon my head, and not that I've been doing PhD research or anything.
Gotta show off that knowledge.
Most arts organizations in Northern Ireland are funded by the Arts Council, which is then funded by taxpayer money, because that money comes to the government and then comes back to the arts. They don't like us, to say the least. So that, and we're really bad at filling out forms. And when I say we, I mean I'm really bad at filling out forms. But I've gotten better, and now we've got Pete to do that.
So what you're saying is you need a PA.
Yes, but I can't pay one.
Go to IVGO/jobs.
But yes, when we get our office set up, then we'll get somebody in. So because of all of that, we do what's called contract concerts. So we can produce our own shows, obviously. We haven't done that in a while because we're usually contracted in by conventions or festivals to come play at their events. So it actually takes a lot of work off of our backs. So instead of having to produce our own show, like our show at Coleraine when we did the Riverside Theatre, or at the Glenmachan Church of God back in 2017. Oh my gosh, that was a long time
Before
ago.
my time in the orchestra.
The olden days.
Yeah, it's a really cool venue. It's just out in the middle of nowhere. So we couldn't fill it, but it's really nice. The Ulster Orchestra rehearses there. It's a nice big place. So instead of producing our own shows, we just get paid a flat fee or a part of the house take, the admission cost. And we don't have to worry about lights. We don't have to worry about staging. We don't have to worry about anything. We just show up, play, do our thing, have a good time, and then we get to go home. And it's great.
And no
I love
stressful
it.
bus packing.
But what happened was we had 5 festivals and conventions, all happening in August, all booked us, and somehow they didn't collide with each other.
All
I think it almost
across
collided.
the island as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were all over the place. So, with that, we're gonna jump in. We're just gonna run through them and see, because we all have
Yeah.
some crazy stories about what happened. So,
Some that probably shouldn't be told.
and this is gonna be even more fun because this is the second time we've told them.
Oh dear. Just laugh at the same points, lads.
Keith, save your audio. Keith, save your audio.
Make sure your laptop doesn't shut down.
I need a new laptop.
If you'd like
Well,
to donate to
depending
the new Keith laptop fund,
Yeah. How well
We'll
this
do a
podcast
GoFundMe.
goes, you know.
Yeah.
I'll use to get a new
split the
laptop,
ad
get a new
profits by
microphone.
4.
That's the two things in life at the minute.
And a pop filter.
Yes. Anyway, so first festival we had beginning of August was the Eastside Arts Festival in Belfast City Centre on the east side of the city, as if the name doesn't tell you what's right on the tin. So what they do for Eastside, it's a festival that takes place over a number of weekends, I'm pretty sure. And they C.S. Lewis Square, which is a gorgeous little place in Belfast. They put up a big top circus tent
Yeah.
and put in a stage, and they do all sorts of arts activities and shows and stuff. And so for our events, we did a concert, a full-on concert, but also an open rehearsal earlier that evening. And I wasn't there. I was still in California. Because out of 5 shows, I couldn't come over for an entire month. That would have been nuts. Because, I have a job.
Are we not worth it, though?
You're worth it, but my job doesn't think so.
They aren't IVGO fans.
And also, I was moving at the end of the month, and there was a lot of packing being done. Then I flew over, and then I flew back, and then I had to move.
Oh, yeah, I remember
and
this.
It was a mess. So, I wasn't there for this show, but Lisa was.
Yeah, that was the first show, obviously, of the whole season. And I remember it as being the most stressful day because I was also involved with my string tutor, Nikki Hagan, she is now, she was Nikki Johnston. She's taking me for my diploma now. But she was running a summer scheme, and I was the only viola that was available to do that with her. And it was running a whole week, mornings, 8 to 4 every day. And I had to get from Newcastle to Belfast. We finished at 4, but obviously it takes you a little bit of time to get wrapped up. Had to get from Newcastle to Belfast, say from about 4:15. Had to be there for 5:30 for the rehearsal, before our open rehearsal. And I just remember being so stressed because I also had to pick up a camera for the guy who was taking pictures. But it was fine. It was a really good place. Was it a circus group?
Yeah, it was
Pretty sure it
Tumble
was, yeah.
Circus, I think.
Yeah.
It was a beautiful tent.
Yeah, the
really
acoustics were
nice.
amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, it was really beautiful. And yeah, we had really nice lighting. It was just really, really nice aesthetic. But yeah, I think everyone in our orchestra, we all live in different areas, some in different countries, and we just try and make it work, even when it's inconvenient to us as well, right? And yeah, we have other stuff going on, we have jobs or whatever, but I suppose the magic of our orchestra is that we kind of come together and make it work regardless.
Yeah.
So that, like Lisa was saying with her, like, crazy day, like, I'm sure so many other people in the orchestra, right, in different events can have that happen so much. I know myself as well, trying to get to Stendhal Limavady from Dublin is no easy
Going to track.
yeah, no easy course. And obviously Robert as well, traveling internationally. So but everyone, despite that, everyone really kind of makes it happen because everyone wants to be there, which is really amazing. Yeah.
It really is a massive group effort to make this orchestra work.
I think that's what I love so much about this orchestra, though, because there's not many orchestras where you can just do something you love and everybody has the same love for it and wants to make it work and wants to be there and will do whatever they can to make that happen.
Yeah.
Even though they're doing so many other things at the same time. But
Totally. Yeah, definitely.
Guys, I'm gonna cry. This is the second time I've heard this. Oh.
Yeah.
Anyway, while I'm drying tears, let's take a listen to a bit of our Hyrule medley from that show. If you're watching us on our YouTube channel, you'll see the atmosphere that we're talking about, the lighting, the staging, the phenomenal acoustics. That was honestly one of our better shows that we've done in a while. And I wasn't there, which kind of sucks. But here's a little bit of our...
I mean, are you even an IVGO if you don't have work 4 jobs and still have to try to make it happen?
We all miss various concerts because we can't, sometimes we can't make it happen. But the orchestra keeps going regardless, and it's always going to be there as well when we can. So
we've got people like
nice
step in whenever someone can't make it, which is always good.
Definitely. Absolutely.
Right, so here's that piece. Yeah, I really do like making the orchestra sing.
Best part of your arrangements.
I like
It's
Voices
really
of
good,
angels,
yeah.
we say.
yeah. So, just everyone remember to drop the jaw, raise the soft palate,
No pretending.
project please.
Yeah.
So
That's it. There's
I-
a really that moment when everyone comes in
So good.
is
We-
just incredible. Yeah.
I still have the stream of doing a video with that piece, but I want us to, because it ends in the marketplace, so I want us to do a video where we're in two places, and the first part of it, the Church of Ireland cathedral in Antrim. No, not Antrim. Armagh.
Mm-hmm.
The cathedral in Armagh, not the big Catholic one, but the Church of Ireland one, looks like the Temple of Time.
Wait, in Uri?
Nope.
Way.
There's
Oh my
Armagh.
god, I really want to see it now.
Yeah, Google that. It looks like the Temple of Time from the outside.
Oh, cool.
And I actually...
With a swirling death mountain in the background, all the flames.
one of these trips over, when I had a rental car, I made the trip down to Armagh to go check it out in person, and I'm like, this would be perfect.
Oh wow.
Just to do like the first part of the video there, and then to do like the festival scene, the marketplace tune, like in the center of Belfast, in front of the Spirit of Belfast statue there in Cornmarket. One of these days we're going to make this happen. It's going to happen.
What I'm imagining is like an orchestra flash mob where everybody's just like coming out of the rafters, like, we're all ready to play.
And get a bunch of dancers to like get involved.
Any,
Someone needs to start writing this down.
any dancers listening to this podcast?
In the Belfast area.
I'm just
Give us a
Contact
call.
us at ivgo.com/jobs.
I'm honestly
Yeah.
I'm just imagining for
Keith's
the
mum
flash
and
mob.
dad.
I'm just imagining for the flash mob, just Adam standing in the middle of the street with his double bass, like, yes, I'm not included in this at all. And then suddenly, I shocked you all. I am.
Now I'm just imagining him trying to dance with his double bass.
It's just walking around with a double bass randomly. I just see him in the Starbucks there on the corner, just with a double bass. Then all of a sudden he sees it going, and he's just like, oh shoot. He's like trying to hobble out of the Starbucks with his
Yeah.
giant bass. He's like, wait for me.
I needed a macchiato.
Sorry, the line was too long.
Adam, this is what you get for not coming on the show.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't get on the show today. I'm coming back from Galway because I was on holiday.
I'm a professional who gets his holiday time properly.
Nah, he's more of a working in the shadows kind of guy, you know?
Yeah, but we're going to talk about him all day. 'Cause this whole month was his fault, so we're just going to talk about him.
Yeah.
Although we do love him because he
Hurrah.
does way too much for us. So
Yes, it does.
I often think of him as my number 2 because he does everything on the ground,
Aw.
which is great.
I also think of him as my
And I
number
bounce
2.
all my ideas off of him first. So there's a little secret for you. All right, so Eastside. We did Eastside. We had a show. We had a rehearsal. It was a fun, busy day. 2 weeks
Very
later,
busy.
a week later, I'm not sure. I don't remember. Very soon after, we all hopped on a bus or in a car and bummed it up to Limavady or is it Limavady?
Depends on your
Limavady.
accent, I guess.
Yeah.
It depends.
Oh, yeah.
Up to Limavady for the Stendhal Festival. So picture it, if you will, your typical English music festival, right? Just out in the field in the middle of nowhere. Take away the drugs, well, most of the drugs. Make it family friendly, and that is Stendhal. So it's a bunch of families and a bunch of tents enjoying the arts in a mud pit. Because it's the north of Ireland in August. It rains. Like, that's all it does.
Yeah, it
It
does.
rains.
Yeah.
So
Everyone knows, like, it's a disaster for a musician. Like, you slip and all of a sudden, broken
yeah,
instrument.
I'm pretty sure I slid down the hill. Like,
Oh, God.
Onto the
one foot in front of
stage.
the other. Here we go. Yeah, right.
Please tell me that actually happened.
That would have been a fun entrance, wouldn't it?
Oh, that would have been amazing. I'm just imagining, like, just about to fly on to the Hyrule Market Medley now.
Hey,
just
so
like,
at the
woo!
Stendhal, let me tell you a story. No, it didn't happen. They were smart. They graveled the hill. But yeah, so Stendhal. Most of the orchestra went up on a bus, and I just want to do a shout out to the Belfast Bus Company, or the coach company,
Shut up.
because they always have the best drivers with us. Like, every driver
Yeah.
that we've had for our shows, they are the coolest people. They're the greatest drivers. They're so nice, and they always love what we do. So, shout out to those guys. Love them to death. Because the driver for this one
Thanks,
was,
guys.
I forget her name,
Yeah,
but she
I
was
remember her.
she was so cool. She was so cool. Because I know Sorsha filmed a promo thing for a Gaelic station
Oh,
during
yeah.
that trip too, and
Remember seeing that.
that was a big thing on the bus. But so the bus got to pull up right up to the stage down in the valley, which was not fair because I didn't, because I had the rental car that the orchestra had gotten for the number of gigs that we had that weekend. So I was driving the rental car, and I had to go pick up Shereen and Lily from the Europa Bus Center.
The dubs.
The dub team.
The Dirty Dubs.
And then drove them up to Limavady myself, and they made us park on the complete opposite side of the festival. So we had to bum it across that mud field to get over to. Oh my gosh, I'm having like PTSD from this. The amount of mud that there was to get across to the, like, just mud completely up my back. And the worst part was I had to wear those pants again the next day for our next gig.
Oh, yeah.
In Dublin.
It was it was the next day.
Next day.
Yeah.
And so I just remember I got back to my friend's place I was staying at, and she's just like, right, strip, take them off, and she threw them right into the wash right away. Oh, you know what happened between that though? Okay, well,
Later.
I forgot.
Between stripping and... No, what happened between stripping and the next day?
After
That's
Stendhal,
another
I
podcast.
forgot. Oh my gosh,
IVGO
that day was nuts.
After dark is just a thing at this point.
We're doing a drunk show at some point. I'm just throwing that out there.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
IVGO After Dark.
I debated bringing a glass of wine to this episode to spice things up.
I mean, if it wasn't 1 o'clock in the afternoon for me, I'd be drinking. So,
We're all good children. We'd never get drunk on a podcast.
no, not at all. No, I was gonna say I had a meeting with the QCon folks after Stendhal that same day.
Oh yeah, that's why you. Yeah.
Oh, God.
That's why we.
That's why I went back early,
drove-
because I had dropped
we
you
drove
guys
out
off,
to
and
meet.
then I had to go to a meeting and talk to them for another show that month. Oh my god!
Yeah, we did too much last August.
Right. So Stendhal, mud.
So it So apart from to add to the mud, during our actual concert itself, probably about 20 minutes into us playing.
I'd say like 40. It was closer
It
to
was
the
close
end.
to the end, yeah.
Okay, yeah. It just started pouring rain.
The heavens opened up
on the opera.
How fitting.
and water descended. I felt bad because it was like our singers were shunned by them as
Yeah.
the audience
Yeah.
just ran
Everyone-
tent in the back.
Yeah.
Just everyone
yeah.
just turned their back on us and ran.
Running away.
No, like that was. I
And
got up to
then-
sing, and then all the crowd, and then I finished my first bit, sat back down. Then whenever I got back up, just no one was there. I was like, lads, what I do? Come back, please.
Please love me.
Yeah.
They thought you were done, so they left. And then the encore piece, our favorite go-to, the theme from the Pokemon anime show, Gotta Catch 'Em All.
Yes.
They just came running back out to join Shereen in such a marvelous show of
Camaraderie.
and solidarity.
Yeah.
Nice.
I mean, you can't not join in with the Pokemon theme. It's just so iconic.
Yeah.
It was.
And
No,
they're
you
singing
can't. It's-
along.
I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure there's a law against nature about that.
It was a Poke mosh pit, if you will.
It was absolutely... Like, you just have to come back for it. The
Yeah, I just
guitar
made the
riffs
same
and all.
Poke mosh joke
Wait,
again.
what?
I'm sorry.
Oh, God.
I need to get that in somewhere.
God,
It was actually.
Watch.
I didn't catch that this time. I caught it the
Yeah.
first time we recorded this, though.
You didn't
and
catch
you
it
got
all?
away
That's
with
the
it.
reason why his computer crashes.
Oh my god.
Ooh,
Oh.
that was an actual funny one.
It's time, guys. It's time to leave. Goodbye.
Anyway, so here's a part of that clip for you. So the next day, our small group, what do we even call it anymore? The small ensemble, the quintet
Plus.
plus.
Yeah.
Quintet plus. That was what we called it because we had the string quintet.
We had 6 people, and people were
Plus.
against saying it was the sextet.
But that's actually correct.
I don't know why,
It is.
but
People just don't like music.
whatever. Quintet plus. Well, also because like the first part of the show was 6 people, but then
Oh, yeah,
afterward,
true.
like the later gig was more. So quintet plus. I like the plus. It's a nice
Yeah.
Inclusive.
addition. It's a nice addition.
Oh dear.
You repeated it.
Oh my god! This is just a pun off now. We're just having a pun showdown.
I need a life. Anyway, so we played
I
Stendhal.
hope your parents are still listening.
It's the IVGO podcast.
Yeah.
Just add that to Shereen's list of podcast names.
Oh yes,
Nope,
the
not
other the other names were playing
gosh.
around. Or the IVGO being Egypt.
That's my favourite. It's the most Irish
Which is going to be the
sounding name.
subtitle for Side Stage with the IVGO. We're just a bunch of Egypts.
Okay, I'll take that.
There it
yeah,
is.
That's
Right.
fine.
So, back to business, guys. Back to business. So we played Stendhal on a Saturday. Sunday, the IVGO Quintet Plus all traveled down to Dublin, except for those of us who were already in Dublin.
Yeah, this was the one show we all had to travel for that Shereen didn't.
Absolutely.
I just had to go across the city, though.
True.
We were invited, kind of invited. Adam once again
Gate
forced his hand
crashers.
and got us into another gig, and we were so thrilled and honored to have a concert at Dublin WorldCon. WorldCon is the international
Science
sci-fi
fiction.
convention,
Yeah.
and so it's a huge deal. It's huge. It's massive. It's big. It was awesome.
All those
And so
adjectives.
all those things. And so the quintet plus the strings, myself and Shereen, we did a concert in a unfinished storefront in a movie theater next to the convention center in Dublin that had no HVAC, no lights. The walls weren't painted.
No sound
You could
system.
you could still
Yeah.
see the there was no sound system. There was you could still see the steel structure.
Bars.
Like, it was literally basically take our show from Culture Night 2 years ago at Riddle's Warehouse, and it was basically as bad as that, except hotter.
Honestly, though, I thought that was still a very good sounding
Oh yeah,
gig.
no, we did great, but it was rough.
Yeah. Well,
It was a rough venue. I'm honestly surprised they actually, and they used that for a bunch of stuff, and I'm like, how was there not space in the convention center somewhere? Like, the
Probably
convention center is
expense, though.
huge.
I'd say it's crazy expensive, maybe.
Probably.
That's why.
Yeah, but still, I mean, they were using the theater and everything else over here as well, so maybe the convention was too big for the convention center. I don't know. Anyway, we did a show. It was great. It was done really well. A nice little hour long set, which we were almost late to. Oh my gosh, the parking. Parking in Dublin is a nightmare.
oh god, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Fair.
Were you there?
Yeah, I was with you in the car when you were having a meltdown. Like, where the hell do we go?
So we went. So we dropped everyone off in the loading dock underneath the theater, which is kind of cool. Like, having to come in through the back entrance type of thing.
Yeah.
But then they had us move our cars over to the convention center, and so we parked in the under place over there. And then they're like, well, you can't park here, this is a loading dock, blah 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 blah. And the guy who was helping us was completely clueless. So we finally got parked in the garage there, and then we had to hoof it back
Yep.
like 6 city blocks back over to the theater in time for our show. And I think we made it like 10 minutes before we were supposed to start.
Yeah.
Something
Yeah, I
like
remember
that.
being like, where are they?
It was also
We were like jogging through Dublin trying to get back.
it was also pissing down raining. Like, what else is new? But so soundcheck was having a nightmare because we were supposed to be there and like get our mics fitted, and it just wasn't happening. And they were like, "Are they coming?"
We need to we gotta figure this out. Yeah, it was nuts, but we did a good show. It was a good show. We had fun.
Actually, that was another one as well. People, everyone sung along at the end there. That was, I love when
At
people
least
sing along.
the people who knew it.
Yeah, I think that gig was the best The Witcher has ever sounded because of how empty the place was. The actual echo and all.
Yeah, it was
amazing.
actually, because it was a good, like, dynamic in the, because it was kind of
Yeah.
like
Mm-hmm.
the
It
right
was-
atmosphere for Witcher. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, a derelict, unbuilt building.
I mean, it's an absolutely
I-
perfect setting for The Witcher.
Right.
I love The Witcher.
Do we have that?
I
Or are
just
we
love
gonna
that
save that
music.
one for Unplugged? Yeah, we're doing that one later.
Oh yeah, you can do
Yeah.
that one instead though. Do you have it? I suppose, yeah, we'll
We
just
have-
put it up
We have
later.
it somewhere.
Yeah, I think I have.
So here's that piece. And then so later that day, because of course we weren't just going to do one show at WorldCon. Oh no, we had 2 gigs. So as soon as we finished that, we had to load everything into a van. 2 vans. We had 2 vans. And we had to then pop over to the theater in the convention center, the Dublin Convention Center. Now, if you don't know what this theater is like, flash picture now. The Dublin
Never
Convention
surrounding.
Center is the largest stage in Dublin. It's absolutely massive, like 2,000 seats, I think,
Mm-hmm.
on the 4th floor of this theater. So like massive elevators, like the elevators are so big that you should be able to fit. I remember I was in the elevator that goes up. You can fit a lorry trailer in the elevator, and it will go up to the 4th floor for the theater. It's massive. absolutely massive.
Wow.
I was waiting for you to
Um,
say like you could fit Adam's double bass or something in it, but like that's
No,
I thought
like
you
you can
were-
fit a lorry trailer in the back.
I thought you were just gonna leave it at you can fit Adam.
you could fit many of Adam.
In fact, an entire
Just-
lorry an entire lorry of double basses in the back.
Just do all our measurements
so
in
we
Adam
were
size.
invited to play during the in memoriam section of the Hugo Awards in 2019. And so we then had to, so like I said, we had to do our show and then huff it over, set up, do a sound check. We were performing with Afua Richardson, who was a singer
Amazing.
and a comic artist, a novel artist from the States, and she was singing Stand By Me, so a few of us played with her for that. And then we played The Best Is Yet to Come from Metal Gear Solid,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
the first one. Yeah.
Yeah.
The first one. And it's originally written in Gaelic, right?
Yeah. It's in
Yeah, so
Irish,
it-
yeah.
So that, of course, very fitting for us.
Mm-hmm.
But to be able to perform on such a huge stage
Yeah, it's
in
beautiful.
such a
Can I be honest? I really didn't know how big a gig this was until we got there, got the brochures, and then we were wandering around
Yeah.
seeing the other guests
Yeah.
on the floor. My mind was blown. I just sat there for about 10 minutes, like, I shouldn't be here.
Yeah, I didn't realize how important the Hugo Awards were until I was texting my friend from back here, and I'm just like, yeah, so we just played. Do you know what the Hugo Awards are? And he literally called me and went, "You played the like expletive Hugo Awards?" I'm like, yeah. Oh my god, like freaking out because
Having a breakdown.
I didn't like. We're not part of that world, really. Like, we're not really part of the literary sci-fi world all that
Yeah.
much. So we had no idea how big it was, and now we realize, oh, this is like the Oscars for sci-fi.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I felt so overwhelmed by it all.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember stories again. Green room was chill. Whoever the
Yeah.
staff member who was helping us out back there, she was really nice. And I also remember the stage manager from the convention center itself was so cool. She was awesome. I gave her a card because I'm like, if we ever do a show here, I want you to be part of it. Because she was such a phenomenal person to have on the side stage and,
Hey.
to help us out. The producer from the actual show was kind of a jerk, but I get it. She was stressed. She had a massive international award show to put together, and she's just like, "Why are you guys backstage already?" And then we're like, "Stage manager told us to be back here." Ow, man! I'm like, listen, I'm listening to her. She looks angry.
Yeah. Yeah, there was a few moments where I kept getting told, after we were done playing in particular, like, that I was in the way, and they were like, you need to move, and I was like, but I don't know where to move to. I'm just a little small person, and I don't want to be in the way, and I don't know what to do. Like, help me, I shouldn't be here.
Don't shout at me.
Yeah, like we were waiting because like they wanted us to be off stage and waiting so we could just, as soon as the show was done, go on, grab our instruments, grab our stuff, and like clear the stage so we could, not only so we could get home, but also because they needed to like take pictures and they had to, unload and load out that night. So like we were there just to waiting to get our stuff, and apparently we were in the way. I don't know. But other than that, I mean, that being the only like downside to that whole event, that was an incredible experience. I remember going down to one of the halls they had downstairs. They opened up as a bar, and I just remember going down there with Sorsha and Adam and just kind of like seeing everything that was going on, because it wasn't just the theater upstairs was full, right? It was completely packed.
Yeah.
But then this bar downstairs had the whole thing up on the wall, and that place was completely jammed of people. And just, it was such an incredible event. So here's a part of The Best Is Yet to Come for Metal Gear Solid. And we're back. Okay, so
I love that piece so much. I had so much fun playing it, and I miss it because it's so
yeah.
beautiful.
yeah, we'll be back. We'll be back. One day we will fill a 2,000-seat theater, and we shall be back.
Sooner rather than later.
So
Hopefully.
If you like us, let us know.
Hit us up on the
we'd like us to come back to
socials.
Dublin. Hire us out. So we
Can
did
you not-
tight, or we
Can
did.
you not do a socially distanced concert now?
Oh yeah, we can actually.
yeah.
I mean, I have
Wait.
to fly, but other than that, I will be quarantined for 2 weeks. But other than that,
You can just do the conducting on like a live stream to us from wherever you're quarantined.
I mean, Robert's the most social distance out of all of us.
Yeah, you could just do it now, just like stream from home.
True. So we did that show, and then the next week in Belfast was EuroCon. So WorldCon, and then the European version of the same thing, but it was in Belfast, and it was a part of TitanCon, which happens every year. And a lot of people actually stayed through the week.
Oh, really?
Because, like, why wouldn't you? Oh, we're going to go do a sci-fi
Yeah,
convention.
fair.
Then we're going to spend a week in Ireland, just bumming around and being, having a good time. And then we're going to another sci-fi convention in Belfast. Like, how could you not? Like, I remember
Yeah.
running into people on Botanic Avenue after WorldCon, and they had their WorldCon shirts on, and I'm just like, oh, you guys were at the thing. I was at the thing. Let's talk for a minute.
Yeah.
Are you guys going to TitanCon? Oh yeah, we're going to TitanCon. Hey, come to our show. Blah 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 blah. Like, and so TitanCon, they were in the Hilton Conference Center, which I didn't know they had a conference center at the
Me
Hilton
neither.
downtown in the city center. But that is also right next to the gorgeous Waterfront Hall, which is Belfast's large theater. But we didn't play in the large theater. We played in the studio theater next door, which, to be honest,
Yeah.
I actually like that theater. I really like it.
Yeah, I loved it.
It's a nice little 350 seater. It's like that theater and the one at the Mac are about the same size, and I really like the
cool.
setup that they have there. But it was lovely, and the guys working were phenomenal. Like, we always get like really good tech crews everywhere.
Yeah, it
we
makes
go.
your life so much easier.
Never had an issue with anybody except for that one lady from WorldCon. I digress. Everyone's laughing quietly, mainly because I don't remember her name. I don't think she ever introduced. All I know is she was an American. So
Yeah, you've more experience there than we do.
if
Did
it's,
you
if
feel
it's a Bell.
threatened?
Yes. So back to TitanCon. So yeah, TitanCon's a much smaller convention than Worldcon. But I would say that the people who attended that concert were definitely like diehard fans. Who, even though they're more sci-fi and we're more of video game fantasy kind of a group, they definitely got in. They definitely enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I had a voice teacher from Oregon talk about Shereen to me for a while.
Ooh, all good.
She said mostly good things.
Diplomatic.
She's like, you guys should print out the lyrics. I'm like, no.
Oh, weird.
Do what with the lyrics?
Like, actually, like, give out a program. And I'm like, I don't want to pay for that. That's money. We don't have
That's
that.
so much effort.
We should start making digital ones, though. But that's a whole nother thing.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, that was just like a really nice like local show for us that we could do, in a really nice theater. And afterwards, the bands were great.
Lots of stories for After Dark.
The banter afterwards was really great, because we got to meet we were hanging out at the bar in the Hilton and just mobbed as usual. Post-show.
Our adoring
As
fans.
usual, we wish.
We're VIPs, don't you know?
Listen, they may not recognize you, but they recognize me because I'm a giant, tall American who sits in front of this orchestra, and I get mobbed anytime we do one of these conventions. Like, it happens a lot.
See, that's the thing with being in the viola section. No one ever knows or sees you because the conductor is in front of you at all times because you're in the middle of the orchestra. Rude. But all I want for my music page is a couple of good action shots, and no one can ever see me.
Not allowed. Not allowed.
I mean, it's a viola player. Why would you want
I
to?
will
anyway?
also say, though...
Keith, I edit the show.
We're losing our viola listeners as well. Insulting our special guest.
I can make your life hell just through sheer editing.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, this... Yeah, I mean, it's probably going to crash before you get to do anything anyway, so... Yay.
Yeah, as long as you save it.
Hashtag Keith, save your audio.
I was going to continue on saying I'm usually mobbed by gay men, which is also...
Positive.
Weird. Like, not weird, but like I'm just like, yeah, that's typical. That sounds right. Sorry, older gay men. So like, not even my type. So, whatever.
What, do you even have a type,
nice.
Robert?
It's fine. I have a good time.
You like being popular.
I do like being popular. Lisa, I will answer that question afterwards.
After dark.
My type is anyone who'll get me a green card to the UK. Anyway.
He's accepting proposal offers.
Anyone listening to this podcast.
Yeah, if anyone wants to get married, give me a call. I know a guy who needs to immigrate. So let's listen to a bit of Tetris from that show. Yeah? A little bit of Tetris. Yeah. Wow, these all have Shereen in them. Does Lily take video of anything that you're not in? I'm just curious.
I just delete them. No. They're
Once
there.
Again, she's taking over the orchestra.
Absolutely. Dublin
you know how,
invasion.
You know how like Andre Rieu is it's like Andre Rieu and the Johann Strauss Orchestra, you know? Yeah. It's gonna be Shu Jinko and the Irish Video Game Orchestra.
Yeah.
That's my ultimate plan.
Just wait for the YouTube channel to change titles soon. Once we have enough subscriptions, it's changing over.
Yeah. But we've actually been losing them recently, so...
What did you do?
We'll get them back whenever the podcast
hopefully
starts
after
going
this
up.
podcast. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, here's Tetris. I really like that Tetris piece. It's lovely. It's a lovely piece.
Isn't it? Yeah.
It's also just so much fun to play.
Yeah, it's absolute chaos.
I once did it with a full chaos. Is that what you said?
Oh yeah,
chaos. I once did it
chaos
with full orchestra and choir. And during the slowdown part, the choir in the back just starts going left, right, left.
Oh my
and
God.
I wasn't told that this was happening, so I'm going and I'm watching. I'm like, What the hell?
Is this the like
Whatever.
Just as it's speeding up.
Yeah.
And they're like,
Yeah, and the part that starts speeding up, and then they try to keep going with it, and I'm like, you're not going to be able to keep up, guys. Just stop.
Well, I will tell you a good story, which is, I can't remember what it was for, but it was when I was still in school, and we, in the middle of a concert, the conductor, Nikki, was like, right, okay, everybody ready? We'll start now. And she did the whole intro, and instead of starting to play, it was string chamber orchestra, we just started singing our parts.
oh my god.
And it was Ina
During the
Kleiner, so
concert?
we were all going like, ba, 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 full blast. But it was so funny. Like, she just stood there with her arms in the air, like, what? And then we were like, we'll start again. But it got a really good laugh. But I just remember absolutely dying of laughter.
Oh, that's funny.
That's brilliant.
I want everyone
That
to
is funny.
prank Robert.
I will throw a cello.
I was going to say, we'll keep that one in our back pocket someday when he's forgotten about me talking about this.
Just pick up Anto's cello and chuck it at the violas. What is this? Yeah.
Oh, you almost got spit take out of me.
Excellent. So after Stendhal, after we did Stendhal, I had to go have a meeting with our friends at QCon. QCon being our home convention, that's where we got our start, and that's we play there every year. Unfortunately, free of charge, but we do get into the convention usually, so it's not bad. This year, though, things were a little bit different.
Yes.
Because, well, the student union was being demolished, which is where the convention was usually held. So instead of our usual 2-night residency, plus a dress rehearsal, plus, like, we were basically in the hall for the week. And they'd bring in a stage and lighting and a big sound system and all that for us. This time they had to condense all of their entertainment stuff down to one night. And so instead of having our usual full 2-hour set, we had a 1-hour, air quotes, unplugged set, which basically meant we didn't have our usual microphone setup, and also the lights were really dark this year.
Yeah.
Like,
Very
they
dark.
used like half of what they usually used, which was very, very dark. Yeah, like did not light up the orchestra at all. Did they have Pete working that year?
Oh,
Peter
I can't
gunning
remember.
in the back.
No idea.
Same guy that usually does it.
I can't remember.
I do love Peter Gunning. He's good. He's a very good light technician and sound guy. If we could hire him, we would, but we're poor. Yeah, so like we had to go through this whole situation with a much smaller set and kind of almost like renegotiate what our normal terms are with them. Because with QCon, they start planning QCon before QCon happened the year before. But with this one, they had no idea like what was happening with the buildings, what was happening with the students' union. They didn't know what they would have available to them. So we were basically renegotiating things like for 6 months for this show, trying to figure out what was happening. But we got there. We did it. Well, you did it. I wasn't there for that show. I had to move that weekend.
Yeah.
So you guys were playing a show. I was back in California trying to get my life together.
Keith, you were conducting that one, weren't you?
Yeah, no, that was
Keith made
me.
a few
That
jokes.
was one where I absolutely bombed on stage for one of my jokes. That was the first.
Yeah.
Oh, that was. I
I
got this
forgot.
planned up, and I'd
It always happens at QCon.
see. Here's the thing. I'm gonna tell this, and all of you are gonna say, "Oh, I thought this was this different part," and I'm gonna get very sad. But the one that I'm thinking of anyway, I had planned this out for days beforehand. And we were doing the Lord of the Rings medley, and I was like, "Oh yeah, I can be like, oh, this is a movie series that have brought us all the memes because I'm
Yeah.
just terrible." And I was like, "Yeah, I can build this up, and I'll get the entire crowd just to start shouting, like they're taking the hobbits to Isengard." And I got to that, and I was
Oh
like,
my
building it up,
god!
and no one did it apart from one guy in the front, and I quickly we started playing soon after that, and I was crying the entire way through the piece.
Clean about that.
Oh, that I still have nightmares about that.
But you know what? I got like secondhand embarrassment for you. I was like, I was like, fair enough to that one dude who really tried to help.
Oh, that was.
I just think
the conductor.
Yeah. I mean, it's not your,
No, it's not your fault.
No.
I mean, at QCon, the conductor will always bomb once.
Yeah. Oh well.
The time I bombed was when I made a joke about how smelly they all were because they're nerds at the convention and no one uses deodorant.
It makes sense.
That was just They took that as a
it bombed.
insult.
It bombed bad. But the joke at the half where it's like, all right, everybody outside, we got to air this place out, y'all stink. That one usually goes over really well. But this other one about water pressure, showers, and something, that was like 3 years ago, and I still have nightmares about that.
It was just like, you nearly
You'll find it somewhere on
over-explained.
YouTube. Yeah, I kept digging the hole, and Sorsha's behind me just going, all right, let's start playing. Let's get going. I'm just still digging that hole.
Yeah.
Oh,
No,
I
but
do love playing QCon.
this QCon, I
it's such a
remember Keith saying to me, it was during the Star Wars medley, and we kind of chopped and changed that a wee bit because there was a section we hadn't quite got round to fully rehearsing. But you just said to me, he was like, right, you
Typical
have
for
the
us.
Force theme, and you just need to play it as loud as you absolutely bleeping can. I was like, no problem, not a bother, I can play that as loud as you want. And I was playing it thinking to myself, I am a Jedi.
I am a Jedi.
Just to clarify for the parents listening, I did just say bleeping. I didn't say any naughty words.
It probably was just bleeping, actually, knowing you. It probably was just play it as loud as you bleeping can. Like,
Thank you. Good save. Thank you.
I give as an
Yeah.
editor and I take as an editor.
Lovely.
No, that was good.
Lovely. Shereen, what piece are we listening to?
We're going to listen to an atmospheric piece that is not exciting.
You mean God of War?
Oh, sorry,
Oh.
QCon. Yeah, God of War. Sorry, I put it there. I was skipping ahead.
An atmospheric piece that is not exciting.
Apologies.
What a way to plug.
Apologies. I thought we were
I was
skipping.
gonna say
Oh dear.
no, we're not skipping, but we are gonna skip that third point in our plan because we are running out of time,
Yeah, fair.
Yeah.
unfortunately. So
Okay.
here's a bit of God of War. this piece. Although I actually
I don't know
think
why.
That's in, oh no, that's in this one. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why, but that piece gives me anxiety a little bit. And I think it's because I start the tune and I'm always like, that's not in tune, that is sharp. Every single time on the A.
That's one that...
It's the part that always bugs me about it, and this is great because Keith is the one who arranged this, isn't right?
Oh yeah.
Was this you?
That was me.
So we get to tell you this to your face. The violin part, oh, those poor violins. They are exhausted by the end of it.
They made their choice when they started playing that.
The way that it lines up, it doesn't line up. Well, listen here, you little shit.
No, see that
For
one.
those listening, he said ship.
Shit, yes, no, it'll be bleeped.
No, that one
We
played
get one.
that.
We get one in every show. That was it.
Yeah.
You
We-
used our quota.
We played the full piece of that back in the Eastside Festival, and
Oh, you're bringing that up.
oh yeah, we're talking about this because that was just we got what was it? It was the transition from whatever the piece was before it into the epilogue bit, I think.
Yeah,
And that's where it goes.
Yeah,
It essentially goes from very, very slow to very fast, very quickly. And we got about like 5 seconds into it, and no one was in sync with anyone. So I was just like, right, lads, stop. Everyone clapped. I was like, lads,
Start
we're
that
not
again?
done. We're starting this bit again. And they're like, oh. And I started it again, and it was all very almost just falling out of hands again. And then we managed to pull
It's
it
a
back
very
in.
it was a very IVGO thing though, like
Yeah.
any other concert that would have been a disaster. But for us we were like, yeah, we're just gonna start that again. Don't mind us.
yeah.
I've done that so many times.
That's
At
what
so many
people
different concerts.
like about
And I think-
us.
I was gonna say I feel like it kind of gives us a bit of realism and humanity, and it breaks down that barrier between us and the audience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's really what we're trying to do. We break down that barrier, so I feel like it just kind of makes us a little bit more human,
Yeah.
and makes us more relatable and more down to earth. And I think that's a really good thing for us. So I don't like it when
So-
it happens, but it's not the end of the world.
Yeah. Sometimes you just gotta deal with
Like,
it
I
and
like
move
to have
on.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I like having a clean, polished show, but it's not always going to happen. So,
Considering how many we
Anyway.
had done it last August, like 1 out of 7 shows? 1 out of 7 shows ain't bad. We got through the rest of them okay.
I mean, that happened way at the
That's
start as
true.
well, so, you know,
that's very true.
if it was going to happen anywhere, it would happen there.
Yeah. Put us all at ease.
No,
just
actually-
get the one.
Well, in Eastside as well, I actually messed up
Oh, yeah, that was the thing.
the best is yet to come, because the first time we did it and I sing a cappella, and for whatever reason, I think because I was saying some comments before it, and then I just like didn't wait for Holly to give me the A and I just went into it.
I don't remember
And
this.
like, I did not sing that in tune, and like, Saoirse just gave me this look, like, what are you bleeping doing? Like, just gave me this glare, and I was like, and I
Granted,
just,
that's Sorcha's face all the time.
I just
Just what are you doing?
I just stopped and I was like, I'm sorry, that was my fault. We're starting again. So yeah, it happened
Oh, man.
twice.
That was
We
way at
just
the start of
didn't
the piece,
put
so
that on
that
the
wasn't too
YouTube.
bad.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, it's gonna happen. There's one every show where it's just like a massive screw up. But if you get it out of the way early,
Yeah.
it kind of
Yeah.
everyone then kind of just relaxes,
Relaxes,
and
yeah,
just
yeah,
pushes into it, and it changes the whole show. So that's always good,
Yeah.
and that's always fun. That's nice.
So the lesson is,
Always screw up early in the
Screw up
show.
at beginning. Yeah.
it's okay to make mistakes.
Anyway, Anyway, that was our crazy August from 2019. 7 shows, 4.5 weeks. Let's do it again.
I honestly missed it this year. I was like, I want to be doing stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did too. I'm supposed to be over there right now.
Yeah.
Like, this is the time of year that
This would be it.
I haven't been back since that week. Like, I've been gone a year, and it's killing me.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Like, we took there was a November thing.
I was gonna say,
We did
like,
a November
that's
show.
That's all we've
And
done
then
since then. The November
We haven't had a
show
show
right?
since then because of everything going on. Yeah.
A culture night,
it's
and
just
then the
culture
November
night,
gig.
and then
yeah.
And then we were like gonna take a couple of months off to like regroup, get a new set of music going, and start rehearsing and get ready
That
for
was
the
a
summer.
mistake.
And then the summer didn't happen. Yep. And now here we are, making a podcast because we can't do anything
Yep.
else. Oh man. Anyway,
Thank you for listening.
speaking of podcasts, yeah, thanks for listening. Subscribe to get all the news about us and get alerts when we come back on and release our new podcast. Right now, we're releasing through YouTube. We'll probably release somewhere else at some point. But until then, thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.
Bye.